Here's lesson 6. This is all about temporary or pop-up shops. So if you see the Supergirl, you've got the joke by now, then click on the Supergirl to listen to the lesson. Right, this is now lesson 6. As you've seen, this is about temporary or pop-up shops. So we're going to look at what a pop-up shop is, the different types, and how these pop-up shops can help new businesses, new small businesses and startups, how they actually help with established brands and why established brands actually choose to do pop-up shops as part of their marketing strategy. You notice the careers at the bottom. We've got brand manager, image promoter and analyst, and the new vocabulary to the right hand side. This is your work list for this lesson. There are 4 things on here, so this lesson should be done nice and quickly. Temporary shops or pop-up shops. You've seen them lots on the high street and in shopping centres. Read on to find out what they are. Temporary shop or a pop-up shop is often used in vacant premises for a short period of time. Pop-up shops have become very popular and are used throughout the retail industry to create interest amongst consumers. In addition to using vacant premises, some pop-up shops create and build their own temporary shops on the high street or in shopping malls. Pop-up shops have a start date and an end date. This can differ depending on what is being sold. Some last for a day only, others trade for weeks or months. Haven't you ever spotted Hawkins Bazaar in town centre? Temporary or pop-up shops and stores are used by large and small retail businesses. Read on for some more details. The term pop-up is now used across all temporary stores. Traditional temporary stores include seasonal shops such as Christmas shops and fireworks shops. Remember that one I mentioned earlier? Hawkins Bazaar? However, pop-up stores now range from retailers test trading new product ideas, test trading in a new location, new businesses starting out, online businesses looking for a high street presence, and even include pop-up shopping centres. Many small-scale independent retailers will open a pop-up shop in a vacant shop and simply to sell as much stock as possible in a limited time. This is why many pop-up shops are seasonal. If you think about it, if you're in town centre, how many times do you see an empty shop store suddenly have a new one in there, but all the rails don't actually belong to the building? They all have that extra facade around them. Very little money is spent on the store, many selling straight from boxes with limited display. These shops can be very profitable over a short period of time and focus on selling high quantities quickly, and are not concerned about giving shoppers an experience or creating brand loyalty. However, many pop-up shops are opened by established well-known brands to create awareness for a new product or concept they wish to promote with the public. These pop-up stores are more creative and expensive to run. Task 1. You need to find your own images of a pop-up shop example. So you can go on the internet, you can take photographs if you've got them, but obviously I'm not promoting that during our lockdown. Get any images you can to show a collage of what you can find out about temporary or pop-up shops. Temporary and pop-up shops and well-known brands. How does that work? Well, guess what? Read on and find out. Nike, yes, that's how it's said. You listen to the American chief executive, he says Nike. Nike, the global sports retailer, opened a pop-up store called Makers of the Game in Los Angeles, USA, in order to kick off the NBA basketball All-Star Weekend. Shoppers could choose from a variety of activities such as playing basketball on a full-size basketball court and the ability to, with the help of designers and famous basketball players, create a custom pair of trainers from Nike's 90-10 collection. Innocent, the smoothie maker, opened a pop-up shop on London Bridge for 11 days as part of its Show Winter Who's Boss campaign. Commuters were offered a free bottle from the brand's new range of smoothies. Italian pasta brand Rana opened a pop-up store in London to promote its products to the UK market in an attempt to increase brand awareness in the UK. The pop-up shop allowed shoppers to engage with the sales staff and to experience new types of food. This was followed by its product being sold in Sainsbury's and Waitrose. Kanye West, good God, I'm saying Kanye West in a lesson. Kanye West opened his Life of Pablo merchandise pop-up shop in 21 cities around the world. Fans were able to buy exclusive products for a few days in August. Kanye claimed the stores made a staggering $1 million in 2 days. I don't have anything to back up that fact though. You've heard the phrase, here today, gone tomorrow. That's very much what pop-up shops and temporary shops promote. And when you see them as part of big brands, then actually that's what they want to do, is to control when these products are available, which actually then creates a desire for customers to go and buy them more in that short period of time, which then actually artificially increases sales. As many high street shops have closed, many pop-up shops have taken advantage of the empty retail units to sell their products over a certain period of time. Many shoppers are interested in pop-up shops as they offer something new and they have an element of novelty. Pop-up shops by nature can be different from the normal retailers, possibly a little quirky, with sales staff who are keen to sell as many products as possible in the time they have. Many hold special events that aim to give a different experience and develop brand loyalty. So there can be a little bit of brand loyalty, get the words out, when it comes to pop-up shops. A typical tactic used by pop-up shops includes here today, gone tomorrow. The sales assistants can inform shoppers that they are just selling for a couple of weeks. Quickly, you need to buy those t-shirts now, you may never see them again. So there's lots of good and bad, pros and cons for pop-up and temporary shops. So here's a true story. When we were doing Young Enterprise, then the shopping centre wanted us to put Young Enterprise student trade fair stalls inside a pop-up shop. But Young Enterprise said absolutely no, because the footfall, the traffic of people browsing for these shops, the Young Enterprise trade fair stores, will be very different than if they were out in the main street, possibly looking like market stalls. But we'll cover that in the next lesson. So here's your next task, task 2 and 3. What you need to do now is reflect on everything you've listened to about the definitions and why a temporary pop-up shop is good and what a temporary or pop-up shop actually is. And this is your chance to write your own words now. Task 2. You've read a few slides now and listened to a few things about what a temporary shop is. So without going back, see if you can write your own definition in the first box. Task 3. Give 2 reasons, your own reasons in your own words, why a temporary shop is a suitable form of retailing for some retailers. Task 4. Explain why a pop-up shop would be beneficial to 3 of the following retailers. So I've given you a choice of 5. You've got a florist selling Christmas wreaths, you've got Apple launching the new iPhone, you've got an author selling copies of a first novel, Puma selling merchandise for an upcoming Football World Cup, not a real one, this is just an exercise, and the last one, a clothes fashion retailer selling last season's collections. So you choose 3, any of those 3, and then you've got to put your answers in the boxes on the right, and you have to say why you think those 3 retailers should have a pop-up shop. That's it, you're done on lesson 6, and as you can see there are actually only 4 things for you to do. So you had to do your temporary shop examples, which was your images, you had to come up with your temporary shop definition, the suitability of temporary shops for some retailers, and then you had to justify why a pop-up shop is good for 3 retailers.